Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a motion to approve the minutes of the September 12th, 2013, and the special meeting of September 25th, 2013, as you received from behind the packet.
If you want it together, I can't make a motion then, because I didn't make the special meeting.
Okay, take one at a time.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of our last monthly board meeting as presented.
That's the September 12th, 2013. For a second? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? The special meeting on September 25th, that was the one with regards to the floor, is that correct?
Correct.
I'll support it. And then supported that the minutes from the September 25th special meeting be accepted and placed on file. All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. Treasurer's report. You received your copy from the county.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll second that.
Then moved supported that the treasurer's report be accepted and placed on file as presented. All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. Do we have any planning commission meeting minutes?
No,
I didn't see any.
Oh. Jack took my book before the last meeting and hasn't brought it back with updates yet, because there hasn't been anything since about March. Look.
Okay, and there was no appeal?
No.
Anything that Joy provided to you that we need to discuss at this time? Anyone with anything to bring before the board? Charlie?
I got a question. I want to know when Joy is going to become official on the website. You know, it's just on the website again after all this time, and Guy's not in there, and your Becky Dinson is still.
I have been in contact with Joe several times. There seems to be a maintenance problem in being able to change it. So we were talking about revamping the whole thing, and John kind of threw me for a loop when he had his stroke, because we were going to get together, and it hasn't come about yet. So we'll have to go without John.
Who does that work for us?
Joe Kojaneski.
Okay. Is that something that we don't need a motion to have that done? We can just go ahead and do it at your convenience, correct?
Right. And between John and I this summer, there's been no time
No,
to get it
understand.
done. So.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Waitner, it's your turn, sir.
Okay, actually I'm going to do a little bit now and then wait until we get into the Bar Lake part to do the rest of the Bar Lake stuff. That's right. Still been quite busy as I was the month before. We did ratify the county budget. That took some doing. discussion on both sides of each one of the issues. Some of the things that had been cut were reinstated, and some things were still adjusted. At the end of the day, we did come to an agreement and ratified that budget. Moving into the future, we've talked about adjusting some of the way we go about budgeting to make it a little more user-friendly, so you don't have to continually regurgitate the same information to one group of a committee and then again to the full board at the next meeting. Just to try to streamline and get the one conversation with all the people that are needed to be done at one time. And then we also talked about expanding the length of time that we are looking at our budget as opposed to just 1 year, possibly taking it into multiple years, so we're thinking about it. And a lot of those ideas actually Dwayne shared with me over the past year. We had some conversations and made great sense, so we started moving forward on a few of those things. So things went well with that process. It was a great learning experience. I will be a student of that process for the rest of my life, I'm sure. But other than that, things have been good. One thing I haven't asked this board yet is if there's ever anything you need me to take back to the county board meetings, by all means, please let me know. If there's anything you want me to take specifically, I'll be happy to do that. So, and then I'll talk about Bar Lake when we get back up to that.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Mr. Fineout?
Well, there wasn't an appeal in October, like last week, but there was one in September, and I think we reported on that, didn't we, John, at the September meeting? Okay, just to be sure. There were 3 receipts in the office. One was for an accessory building, one a land division, and one is a daycare group home, which is going to require a special permit for that. So the planning commission has to decide on that. Probably the hearing will be the November 7th meeting. No complaints. And there was one last week, so I spent most of this week catching up.
Any questions for that? Chuck? Any questions? Thank you, guys. Chuck, you report on the fire department, please?
I sure do. Mine's a little longer than it used to be, guys, but a lot of stuff going on. For September, I don't have a complete report for the runs because during the transition of buildings, some stuff got mixed up. So, but I do know we had 22 runs, 4 meetings, so I don't have hours yet, but we'll get that to Joy probably next week. We met with the guys again about the new truck. They gave us some pricing. They talked about the demo stuff. Could save anywhere between 20 and 50,000. Still haven't hammered that out yet with them. The demo gave us a good opportunity to kind of break it in. Danny was with us at that meeting to understand what was going on. So they said they could have it done if we did order it for approximately 90 days, but then if we decided to go do a demo, they'd use that for 60 days. So we got the station floor. That turned out really nice. A little bit easier to maintain, and it looks really good. Thank you to Danny and Charlie for looking into all that stuff on that. And, there's still a couple things we got to work on, but for the floor, get back on the call tomorrow. The new station, it's done and we're inside it, so that's awesome. It's still overwhelming when you walk inside and all the space that's there. It's still overwhelming. So the open house is this Saturday. If you haven't seen it, come down and see it between 1 and 4. We're still working on some stuff, putting stuff where it's going to go. Haven't found all its places yet, but we're still working on that, and we'll have it nice and orderly for Saturday, and then we'll work on the rest of the stuff we've been with. There's a lot of stuff. We do have some stuff that we're going to put out back, kind of like a garage yard sale type stuff, so people can, if they're looking at making donations or something like that, they can take some souvenirs home, I guess, from years going by. We're, for that strategic planning I mentioned last time, touched on some fire chief stuff, just touched on some administrative goals. That's been pretty busy with the move and stuff like that, and things where I work and stuff like that. So we're moving forward though, like I said, with the training stuff. We've been doing some nice overlays and stuff like that with engine. We're meeting the requirements for the NFPA standard for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. The last time we did it 4 minutes and 19 seconds, so that's pretty good. We're moving forward with the uniform paints, the collar brass for the uniforms and badges. We're going to wait on the shirts until we gather all the shirts that we have. Make sure that we don't have extra. We're going to inventory the shirts we do have, so we don't order more shirts that we don't need. So that'll keep that price down. And again, we're looking at trying to split that cost out of our fund and then come out of the fire department budget, what we have. Then the last couple weeks, there was an opportunity that came up for a new rescue rig. Let me bring it up now. I've been keeping Danny in the loop, but in the beginning we thought it was going to be free. Let's kind of keep it on the down low to not jinx it. Well, since it's a county-owned rig, it's West Shore's Echo unit. It's a Tahoe they have there. They're not going to use it anymore. So one of our firefighters works there, was working on it, and it can't be free because it's a county rig that they offer up. Basically, they wanted $3,000 for it. I countered them the other day, and I got word back this afternoon about 4:30 that they take $2 for it. It's a 1997 Chevy Tahoe. It does have 144,000 miles, and it's got new tires. The blue books for around $3,000. It comes with the lights and sirens and radio. That's about $2,200, if not a little bit more. And there's a gear rack in the back that's about $800. So it roughly runs about $500,000 if we were to outfit it. There's also other areas that bought something very similar to that. They'd spend about $8,000 to $10,000. It would be a better rig for purposes of medical stuff. Like yesterday, we had to run. There's 3 of us had to crown in the brush truck. And then we needed more people anyway that came over and helped us out. So the brush truck, we have double seals on the 2 doors, and we have to make sure they're shut. And it's because we don't want any dust or dirt in there on the medical equipment. This would be a better rig for that. At the price, you really can't beat that kind of deal that goes around. So
Who owns that, the hospital or the county?
the county.
So you want to approach the county in regards to that?
No, I've been working with Tom Kane, and he has permission to sell it to us. That part's been all taken care of as of this morning. When I called him this evening about 4:30 when I got out of work. So it's just a matter of if we would purchase it for $2,000. They're giving us first crack at it since we are right here.
Why won't they sell it to you for $1?
I offered them less, and based on the blue book value, that's what they want to sell it for. Just at the blue book of the vehicle.
With all the false alarms that's been attended over the years, you'd think they'd be tickled to give it to you.
Right, and he's in a tough situation because he is new, and he wanted to give it to us, but he's trying to work the.
I don't remember that request ever coming before the Board of Commissioners if it's a county vehicle.
They said they'd have to offer it up to the county first if they're going to give it. So they're not using it anymore because when they take a rig now, they take an ambulance. They don't take the Echo unit.
Chuck, do we have room for it?
I don't know. Yeah, there's a whole bay that's open.
This unit would take your medical equipment and get it off the brush truck.
Right.
It would have, although it's got a lot of miles on it, it's in your opinion, you've examined the unit?
I went and looked at it 2 weeks ago when I first heard about it. It's a really clean unit. You don't find deals like that. Even if it was $3,000, it would still be worth it. But I offered them less.
Don't go saying that.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So it's common sense. Yeah, we looked at it. It'll free, and then our brush truck, it'll free stuff that we don't have. We have 2 spots used up for medical gear that we can put wildland gear on, or CSCBAs on when we go to our oil rigs and stuff like that, gas wells. Because you can't get the big truck down in there, you have to take the small rig. So you bring the big rig, take the SCBAs off, take them in the truck with you. That way, if you do encounter it, you got your SCBAs with you. So the bigger truck won't get down on some of the well sites.
This unit you want to purchase is strictly a medical?
Strictly medical rig. So that was, I was keeping Danny in the loop what was going on, but I was trying to not get out there too much so many people knew about it. And I thought it was going to be free. I was going to have a.
Well, when Carl goes back to the county, it might be.
Actually, I was going to suggest, if you don't mind, I'll be happy to make some calls on behalf of the Manistee Township Fire Department and find out if nothing else, we can always try to drop the price from $2,000 to lower than that. Like I said, this is the first I've heard anything about it, and I don't know that the full county board heard anything about it either. And, you know, they might be compelled to.
That's the information I received, so.
And Carl knows how good the medical
Yeah,
staff is.
yeah, I know firsthand.
He used us.
The Sunday before last, those fine folks actually got me out of my house on a nice little fancy chair and into an ambulance to the hospital. So, that was awful nice of them to have.
You?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Flew my back out in the woods and was way smarter than my wife and the doctors and stayed at home instead of going to the hospital. Until 2 in the morning when I tried to roll over, and it didn't work out for me.
You made yourself too.
Yeah, I was giving it time. No, I should have just listened. But I'm gonna make those calls if that's all right tomorrow.
So, if I understand this correctly, you're asking for permission to
If we
purchase this unit
Right,
if this all works out?
right. It would be a great addition, and it would be used specifically for medical.
You probably can't get in with any cheaper than that, unless Carl.
Right, I mean, they've been working with us, they haven't offered it up to anybody else, so I just, you know, they don't want to stir the pot too much, because they end up spilling stuff.
What do you think?
Carl should make those calls and see what we can do for us, and revisit it if it has to be before the next meeting, and kind of assume probably will have to be in order to move it along.
Another suggestion might be to approve it up to 2,000, pending callback for me, not to exceed 2,000. And I can get back to you that way. It's up to you folks. But I'll be happy to make calls tomorrow and get back to whoever you tell me to get back to tomorrow.
Do you think this is something we should get?
I guess the first thing that comes to my mind then, regardless of the cost of it, okay? So now we did this thing, and in 2 years it clunks out, it's no good, it's worthless, and we need a new one. Now we've got it, we've got the one we're referring to. And in 2 years, now we need a new one that's gonna be worth, how much, Chuck?
In 2 years,
Yeah.
it'd be worth less.
No, he's talking about replacing it with a new unit.
Oh, a new unit.
Yeah.
That way it would vary depending on what you were looking for.
Well, yeah.
Well, you put the stuff back in the brush truck.
It's just that it,
40,000.
Right. You could find another used one anywhere from, from 2 to 10. But the idea would be, we could put it back on the brush here if we
well,
had to.
where did I hear a number from you a moment ago at $500,000?
No.
You did say 500, you misspoke.
Oh,
You said it would cost $5,000 to outfit that truck.
Oh.
And you misspoke and said 500,000.
Sorry.
That blew me
Put
away.
that-
I didn't know.
That's
To
why
put
you
the extra
grimaced.
racks in.
That's why you grimaced.
Oh, yeah, it was, right now, it's about $5,000 worth of, based on Blue Book and license sirens in the rack, I think.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I was still trying to digest.
Well,
$500,000.
No, it's a utility vehicle. You could probably find one used from anywhere from like 2,000, maybe 10 again,
Okay.
if we decide to replace it at that time. I don't foresee this one should last longer than 2 years. And then also,
How many medical runs are you having, average a month?
probably 18, just on average, if not. We have like 250 a year, and probably 75% of those are medical.
But this isn't a truck per se,
It's just a
Car.
Tahoe, 4-wheel drive.
Utility vehicle.
Utility vehicle. It does get around better in the snow. That dually on 135 is a little squirrely in the wintertime. And we do go out in pretty crappy weather sometimes. You have to be real careful about it. You can see easier out the back of the Tahoe than you can 35 with the tank in the back. And that's another thing too, when we go out in the wintertime, when that brush truck is winterized, but there's still, we drain the water, but you still take that chance of busting pipes and stuff, because we have sat out a long time before.
I don't think you can get into this thing any cheaper than that. I think we spent money more foolish than that. And I would like to suggest that we do as Carl suggested, is to give him permission to spend up to $2,000 for that unit. But see what the dialogue is between the commissioners first. But then we don't have to have a special meeting.
You're making that in the form of a motion?
Can I?
Yes.
It's a lot easier to digest now that we got it.
It's been a long couple of weeks for us.
I moved and supported that the Township Fire Department be allotted up to $2,000 to purchase this unit from, what do you call it, Echo Unit? That's the proper terminology.
Right.
From West Shore Hospital, pending the Commissioner's investigation. Any more further discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. Anything else? Chuck?
Just a special thank you to everyone that's had any part to do with the fire station. There's been so much donations and time, people putting in time and donation stuff. It's really came together and it was great. You've seen it. It's just
You guys are full-time firemen now because there's somebody there every day, all day.
right, and people like to be there, so far we'll keep it that way, hopefully.
Well, thank you, fellas. You're doing an excellent job.
We'll keep plugging away.
I have one question.
I might have an answer.
I heard talk that the open house was from 12 to 4, and you just said 1 to 4.
It's 1 to 4. I had it in the paper from 1 to 4.
Okay.
And about approximately 4:30 we'll do the dedication. Excuse me, 1:30.
What was that time again, please?
1:30.
I thought you said 500,000.
I wrote down 5, so I wrote it up. If I can explain to you my day, I can't hear it, but you'd understand.
Thanks, Chuck. And make sure you thank all the firemen as well. As far as the liquor inspections are concerned, nothing's changed. The weather's still nice and everyone's still in operation. Was there a Oaks prison report? No.
Not till I think the 17th.
Pardon me?
We think we're meeting the 17th.
Of this month?
It's at 4 o'clock here in the warden's office.
As far as the revenue sharing board is concerned, next Monday will be the verbal presentation of the grant applications. There's 29 public service applications. Well, in total, there's $2 million in applications and 1.5 million in money to give away. So we're only $554,972 short.
There's that 500,000.
Yeah.
That's fairly close.
Yeah.
And again, that verbal presentation will be next Monday here at 5 o'clock. Carl, I presume you want to touch on the Bar Lake Improvement Board?
I would love to, and actually it's kind of interesting. 4 of the 5 members of the board are actually present here today. Guy, Claire, and Charlotte are all here. We held our monthly meeting this past Monday. We had to use the other side of the building because it was well attended again, as all of the Bar Lake meetings have been. A lot was discussed. The Sort of Lake Sciences was there to present preliminarily the results from their feasibility study that was done. A lot of dialogue and public hearings are scheduled to be on the 18th. All of the notices of public hearings went out in the mail, along with a note from the Bar Lake Improvement Board. So we're moving forward on that. The first public hearing is to go over the hearing practicability, and then once that closes, we'll reopen the second one immediately following at 8 p.m. We'll do that's to ratify the special assessment district. I gave Joy a copy of that roll to have on file there in case anyone wants to inspect it or look at it. We may have some of our constituents that want to see who's on the roll, and it's public information, so now it's on file here. One of the biggest things that came out of the meeting, and one of the reasons I put a document in front of you all tonight, was because we initially came to this board requesting to borrow $15,000 to do the 2 studies, which was declined. I went to county board to get the same 15,000, which was approved, and it was based on 5,000 for the feasibility study and then 10,000 for the water level study. So Restorative Lake Sciences did the first portion for the 5,000, and then we had to bid out the lake level portion of the study, and the lowest bid came in at 12,500, which is 2,500 over what we initially borrowed from the county. So we are 2,500 short of being able to pay for that study, and I'm here humbly requesting that Manistee Township either pick up that $2,500 tab, since the Bar Lake Improvement Board is a township board, it's not a county board. And if you can't see clear to do that, we'd at least like for you to consider loaning us that $2,500 to be paid back with the winter tax bills, so we can finalize both portions of that study and put that to bed, so we can finally move forward from the end of the studies. So if any of my board members would like to chime in, I'd love to hear from you. So that's what I wanted to ask.
I'm thinking the township, just so everybody knows, the township owns property along the lake, the county owns property along the lake, and the state of Michigan owns property. Under the law, you're not required to pay an assessment if we do, in fact, establish an assessment district, but you can choose to, and you can choose to pay or not. The assessment for the township would be $250 for, what is it, 3 years?
For 3 years, correct.
So that's $750.
Did the county borrow, loan, or donate?
They did not donate. They fronted the money.
They loaned
They loaned it?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I think step one right out of the gate, she missed our first thing by 25%. Is that what the numbers is?
About
2,500 out of 15,000.
Oh, 15,000.
Yes.
I thought it was 10,000.
So it'd be given by a sixth, whatever that percentages.
The only thing I can attest to that is the fact that the chairman of that particular board is learning a lot as I'm going along. This is a brand new process. It's a brand new board. I was able to obtain the information I got from other folks who have gone through this before. That was the best estimate that was provided in regards to what the two studies were going to cost. So that's why we went for the request of the $15,000. And based on the assessment roll, we will take in on that tax roll $22,500, which will certainly pay back the county and the township if it's borrowed money.
What's the next step, Carl?
Well, it all depends on how the hearings go. Once we get through the first portion of the hearing, the hearing of practicability, if it's determined at that point, once the Bar Lake Improvement Board votes, if we vote to move forward, then we start to determine which projects to go first, and that's what the next 2 years worth of special assessment will go towards. If after that first part of the hearing it's determined by vote that nothing is going to be done to the lake, everyone who's on the roll knows they're going to be assessed to at minimally pay back the borrowed money to the township and or to the county to make sure that those monies are paid back in full. And at that point, they work towards disbanding the Bar Lake Improvement Board because there wasn't enough support to move forward on that, even though that the board was established because a petition had circulated through and was ratified to form the board. They can also do the same thing to dissolve it.
Look, this might sound like a foolish question, but if just the studies are costing you $17,500, what happens if you start to defoliate the lake or start working on it?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously going to be more expensive, the studies?
Actually, the studies are the biggest chunk of change unless you start going into structures or methods of maintaining a certain lake level. Once that level is established, it will be considered the legal or the normal. Those words are interchangeable with all the legal documents that I've seen. And then it would be a matter of what needed to be done to maintain that level. But the actual treatment of the lake is a lot less expensive than you'd think. I know that using Bear Lake as an example, their annual assessment now is somewhere in the neighborhood of $35 to $50 per riparian. The studies are the most expensive portion because you don't know what you need to do to fix the lake until you've actually tested the lake and seen all the things that are wrong with the lake. And unfortunately, it takes very intelligent, educated, expensive people to be able to tell you what's wrong with the lake. So that is the biggest portion of the expenses of these studies.
Good. There's been no feedback yet on any part of this?
There's been, every meeting that we've gone to, that we've had, has had folks talking on both sides, either for or against. I can tell you that the majority of the folks that are there are all for bettering the lake, otherwise the petition would have been signed by enough people to even start for it. I will tell you that no one has been opposed to it. That some folks felt that they were maybe a little underinformed, even though things have been listed in the papers with all the information going on for the past few years. Because I know that before I got into my seat, this was already taken care of. The board was already, it was established that the board was going to be established. And I can tell you that I reached out to the folks who did the startup with the Bear Lake Improvement Board, and they went through the same pitfalls and headaches and issues because it's something new. And until people get used to something and understand what the purpose of the Improvement Board is, there's going to be some tension and some discussion that are sometimes heated.
I can say in concurrence with what Carl stated, the 2 points. One, the study. I'm familiar with some lake studies. One, for instance, downstate was about $50,000. And I believe the remediation was probably less than double that. So it's sometimes locating, finding out what the problems are could be a lion's share of the project. It sounds like things are manageable. It's getting, the problems are being addressed at a point when we believe, the way the engineering report reads, that this thing's going to go better than anticipated, at least in the weed control aspect. The lake control, lake level is another item, and that was just addressed. What I can also concur with Carl on is that as everybody's come up to speed, there were a portion of residents that weren't participating, and in the early on activities and discussions, and I can say that now that they are finally in the participation mode, there's less and less resistance. If I had to come up with a number, I would say that 3/4 of the residents on the stakeholders are very favorable. And then there's still a significant number that are kind of on the fence because they're concerned about where the assessment's going to go in the future. Then there's a few that, like in anything, are opposed, but we don't know how much of the stakeholders that represents. We'll find out at the special public hearings on the 18th.
Correct. As Charlie said, that at the beginning, the more people that showed up, minds got eased when knowledge was shared with larger groups. And as the meetings have progressed, more people have been getting involved. I think, what was the count of our last meeting? 40 riparians showed up for the meeting, somewhere in that neighborhood. and it has gotten a lot more manageable, and it's also gotten to where everyone knows the scope of what's going on and how far it's going to reach and why we're doing things the way that we're doing them. And I believe everyone was pleased when they were reminded that initially there was a third phase of the study that we were going to try to get done at the same time, which would have been another hefty chunk of change to add to this. But again, I can tell you that the biggest reason for the overrun is from lack of knowledge.
Another item that involves, Joy, you'll be interested in this. There's a few people that are questioning the validity of the petition drive. The signatures, the numbers, and Carl, have you got anywhere on that? Because I don't think this thing is going to be settled in some of their minds until possibly a copy of the petition is provided, results in your audit.
I haven't yet asked Joy for a copy of that. I don't know if there was paperwork that I had to submit in regards to requesting a copy of it. I just want to be able to put that to rest in the minds of the folks that thought that to question the validity of the petition.
When you borrowed the money from the county, was there like a contract drawn up or?
It was done by,
It wasn't a handshake, it was something.
No. A resolution was drafted. And that was what I was looking for. A resolution was drafted that stipulated all the conditions of the payback, and it was approved.
So,
I'd make a motion to loan money to them.
I'll support it. It's been moved supported that we loan them the $2,500 to take care of, satisfy the shortfall that they currently have. Any further questions?
Yeah, that wasn't a grant.
Pardon?
That's not a grant.
Correct.
It's a loan.
Oh, gotta be paid back.
Yep, correct.
Now, we need what we'll need is we'll need a copy of the resolution.
Yep.
So we can duplicate it.
Yep.
You
I would be happy to
execute
do
it with the county.
that. I will, I'll reformulate it for the $2,500 as opposed to the $15,000, and I'll get a copy of it to Guy via email tomorrow morning.
Okay, sure. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Who is the check payable to?
It will be made payable to.
Starlight Improvement Board.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was going to be made out directly to the company who was.
No, you're a facilitator of it, right?
Yeah. To the Barley Board.
Do you have an account?
Well, we don't.
Yes, we do have an account with the county.
We don't have the association doesn't have an account set up per se.
We don't have our own bank account at this point, but that's being worked on. And right now we do have an account with the county because they've allotted the money, and we submitted our first invoice for the first portion of the study to them, which is they're working through the payment of that right now.
So should this check be written to account?
My suggestion would be to let me call Russ first. And I'll call you. And I'll call you with the specifics as to what you're going to do. It will probably be made to Manistee County on the information line about that improvement loan. But I will get that specific from Russ tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I will find it.
Thank you.
And thank you all.
Under unfinished business, the fire hall.
Anything you need to report?
Anything?
I thought it was finished.
I mean, we have that.
Well, it is unfinished business. He's got, did he put the vent on the roof? I didn't even look.
I didn't see there.
No, I think the vent's still gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a vent.
Okay.
I think I have a copy of the occupancy permit.
That's the final, basically, you know, the occupancy permit, that's the final
Oh, yes,
piece of paper you
yes,
need.
yes.
That's an important piece of it.
On the residential area here, I contacted the DNR and 100 feet east of the highway bridge, downstream to 100 feet below the railroad bridge. It is unlawful to operate a vessel to exceed a slow, no-wake speed. So there's 4,
Currently it is?
yeah.
Okay.
There's 4 signs that are ordered that I will try and get with the county sheriff or someone to put those up.
Enforce them.
Pardon me?
To enforce it.
This is the DNR's rule, so yeah, I guess they don't have to enforce it. But that's in the works. Anything else under unfinished business? Under new business, snowplow bids?
We should have had that out for, so we'd have this for tonight, but it didn't happen. I got one bid in today or this evening, because they were thinking about it. You still want to advertise for bids?
Probably should.
Sure. Sure, yes.
I got an ad ready to go, just, we're about a month late.
Okay. Talking about bids, I might have goofed up, imagine that. We were over there at the fire hall, putting stuff up, cleaning stuff up, and I was conversing with Brian Forbes about snow plowing this winter over there, whoever does it. And the excavation is pretty tore up around that building, where you would have to plow. And I just, so would you give us a bid of what it would cost to clean that up? I maybe shouldn't have done that, but anyhow, here it is. With the diagram that shows what the work that would be done. Now, I don't know if you want to tear these up, shred these, and put it out for bids, because the only ones that have seen them are you people.
Well, I would think it would be a minimal expenditure, would it not? Just to grade it?
No, to put gravel in there and straighten it up so they can plow
There's when they strip the asphalt up and the gravel, there's,
Over 10% of that. No.
yeah, there's soft spots in it. You don't want to park in a couple places next to the building because it's dangerous, moving stuff in it.
Well, there's
There's the concrete.
lines that go out to the drain field that need to be protected, and the concrete is gonna get broke off this winter if we don't do something with
That's
it.
settling and stuff.
It's just another step to complete that project. Do we want to,
We don't do
Do we
this.
have a choice?
I think on that kind of money, we should probably bid it.
well, these need to be shredded because it's only fair. You know.
Right.
The only ones that have seen them are you people.
So you wanted to add also to grade this?
I think it should be a separate.
Two separate.
If that's what.
Right.
Yes.
You want me to wait a week in between, or you
No,
want
no.
to do them at the same time?
You gotta get her done.
Let's do it.
And it's done for the ground business. It's not, I apologize for just having Brian do this work, but I think as long as we shred it, we're okay, right? Oh, yeah, we're right, okay. Item number 2 is tables. There's some issue about tables?
Yeah, there is, when they were moving some of them around this week to take over the fire hall, a couple of them are in pretty bad shape. Wondered if we should get rid of those and purchase a few more.
They don't owe us anything. We've had them since,
After was it about?
86,
yeah, it's 86.
86.
That man said one of them's got a hole out of the corner or something.
Pull the cables?
Yeah.
Well, you seen that one, and another one, the rail goes around the bottom.
So do we need a half a dozen, Danny, or do we need a dozen of them, or what do we need?
Well, I could go count them and tell you, I would say half a dozen would be fine.
Just for conversation, are round tables a consideration? Pardon?
For me, they have.
Well,
I think they got 2 over there now. Are they utilized?
Yep.
And I think it's nice for individuals to have the choice because everybody's party has different purpose. To be able to set up now or set up rectangular.
yeah, anyhow,
Is a half a dozen tables gonna serve the purpose?
Then if they're round,
Will round work?
I don't know, for weddings or what, you know, they put them, or a flat one would work. I think it'd work better than round ones because you can get more people along the flat ones on both sides. The round ones take up more room because they're not compact.
Do they ever set up all of the tables?
No.
They never
Not
set
that
up
I
all?
know.
Yes, yes,
Do they?
yes. I have these, every single one.
Okay. But I've never seen it come for a wedding or anything here, so.
I guess using a wedding, I don't know how many weddings are here, I have no idea, but a shower, graduation party, I think a round table sets the scheme much better than a row of long tables.
Yeah, well.
Well, why don't we try half a dozen round ones this time, and if we get some complaints or concerns, then we'll get half a dozen long ones, straight.
Because we have the rectangular tables now, 6 or 8 footers, don't we?
Mhm.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to get half a dozen round tables.
Wood or fiberglass?
Fiberglass.
That's what.
Oh, yeah, plastic, yeah, whatever they are.
Then move supported, we purchase a half a dozen long plastic glass tables. Any further discussion?
where are we gonna get them from? Does anybody know the price?
All kinds of catalogs. All in favor? Aye. One opposed? Anything else?
New business because as I'm thinking of it, and probably partially under unfinished or old business, I would like to thank Connie and her crew, whoever it might be, for taking very, very nice care of the corner here this summer again.
Absolutely.
And I don't know who's responsible, where, why, or anything about it, but this summer here, and especially the last few months, the landscaping and the yard work around the hall here has been the best that I can.
Yeah, you can thank Dan Revolt for that.
What is that?
Hats off to you.
Thank
Dan.
you.
It looks much, much better than it ever has.
And up there as well, cleaning that brush up and everything, making them clear vision corners. Very nice.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything
That
else?
has nothing to do with me, it's a lot of township residents that are passionate to do that, and some shared expense are huge.
You're a great facilitator.
Job, boss.
Thank you, and pass it on to wherever it goes.
Anything else? You've all received a copy of the bills. Any questions?
Make a motion to allow the bills paid as presented.
Support?
I support that.
Been moved supported that the bills be paid as presented. All in favor? Aye. None opposed? One other thing, you're out of Oak Grove's building now?
Yeah,
You're completely out.
yes.
They were,
There's one thing left in there, but I think I gotta talk to them tomorrow about it.
now those, it needs to be mentioned that, you know, we paid a minimal rent for that building, but it came in handy and they treated you guys very well, and there's to be thanks for that as well.
We'll probably go over there and sweep it out after the open house. I'll talk to them tomorrow.
Should have found a light switch, so that's the only.
Maybe even in the form of a letter
Yes. Yes,
of
thank you.
thanks to
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna do some work to it, and he's wanting the switches moved to where he walks in the door. They're all in interior.
Just so you can shut them off, we got $1,100 light bill.
Right. Well, we didn't want to trip over it. He didn't, I don't trip over anyone in there.
No, that was very gracious on her part, and it helped us out a lot.
Really good.
The MTA meeting is gonna be Wednesday, October 23rd, that's at Maple Grove. Is that the last one of the year?
Till February.
Yes.
Yeah. The regular meeting of the Manistee Township Planning Commission will be Thursday, November 7th. If there's an appeal, that will be Tuesday, November 5th. And the next regular meeting, we gotta do something about that.
That's it.
I thought so.
That's not a good time for me.
No, me either.
About people.
How did they do that?
I don't know, I thought maybe they changed
Much better.
Did we change it already? Cause I got the 6th on there, let me go check the first one.
I thought that they changed that last year when we.
I thought we
Right there
changed
behind
it.
you.
I thought it was changed before.
Well, yeah.
Yes, it is changed to the 6th. All right.
That's the board meeting?
Yeah, it's the 6th instead.
Okay.
Wednesday,
Okay.
is that right?
Thursday, November 6th.
November 7th.
What's on the schedule, Connie?
Well, it just says November 6th, but I think November 6th is a Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
if appeals is the 5th, that's Tuesday.
right.
6th would be Wednesday, 7th would be Thursday, it's planning.
Right.
So we're gonna have
Wednesday.
November 6th.
Yeah, it will be.
All right, the next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Wednesday, November 6th at 7:30 here at the hall. And the Bar Lake Improvement Board is going to meet Monday, November 4th, and that's here as well
Correct.
at 7 o'clock.
And one reminder that there's a double public hearing on the 18th of October, but that's
You're welcome.
coming up in 2 weeks.
Fourth,
Welcome to the game.
Any other public comment? Other than go Tigers? Meeting adjourned. Motion to adjourn.